I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Kelly. We are back with another video. If you guys are new to the channel and you enjoy true crime stories, news, and politics, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys. I would very much appreciate it. And if you're a returning listener or subscriber, thank you as always for being a friend. And please interact with the video, like it if you like it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about the topic, and make sure you're still subscribed, hit the bell, whatever you can do. It really does help me out, guys. So the House of Representatives is in shambles. I mean, it is so over. It's in disarray, beyond disrepair, beyond repair. Whatever you want to say, words, okay? It's bad. So we're going to get into it today, guys, and let me know what y'all think about this shit show of a government we have.
I didn't know, but as soon as I saw it, I sent out the tweet that retracted it and made my position very clear.
Oh, really?
These are the folks who say it's just not believable that you would think a red fire alarm was an exit. How could you possibly get that mixed up?
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. You know, they can have their opinion, but I know I was in a rush to get to my vote. And I tried the door, it didn't work, so I pulled the alarm thinking it would open. That didn't work, so I went downstairs. It was a dumb choice, but, you know, it is what it is. I take full responsibility for it. Now, trying to move on, just do my job.
But why would you think a fire alarm would get you out of the door?
Listen, you know, I tried the door. It says an emergency exit. You push on it, it would open. I tried that. It didn't work.
What?
And I tried the alarm to jar the door. I've done that in other places, and it just didn't work.
So those people see an emergency exit, they can take another exit.
You've tried, wait, you've tried that at other places?
Shut down the government or do anything.
Wild.
Bad decision. It was a mistake. Took responsibility for it. You know, I don't know why it's gotten this much attention.
Oh, really?
We gotta focus on doing our job. That's the most important thing. I'll have more to say. You know,
I'm glad you think it's funny.
in terms of what happens with the investigation. But right now, I'm not going to say too much.
What is the Capitol Police telling you about the state of their investigation?
It's still ongoing.
Spoken to the Capitol Police, the Sergeant at Arms, who else?
Yes, both those two.
Oh, wow.
And Leader Jeffries.
Yes. Yeah.
But how's that fixed? How's that fixed?
Girl, does anyone else have a question?
Thank you.
What do you think of Republicans? Yeah, that's the question. That's what everyone wants to know. What do you think of Republicans? So, guys, you're looking at an insurrectionist, okay? You are looking in the face of an insurrectionist, guys. A person who would stop a government proceeding is probably the worst crime that we have on the books in this country, okay? And, you know, Jamal Bowman, he's a victim, guys, of confusing things that he thinks opens doors, okay? I mean, who hasn't been there? Who hasn't been trying to get somewhere and you get to a door and then you would just like blank out, like you just completely spaz out and you have like no idea what to do. You have no idea what to do. But then you look to your left and you see the kryptonite of Jamal Bowman, which is this right here, guys. What do? Are you pulling this lever to try to open the door? Because I know it's confusing. It really is. It's hard to know what the right thing is in this situation. But leave it in the comments. Are you pulling this lever? And do you think it will open a door? Well, I have an answer for you, and it's no. You know, approaching these doors, this is our point of view, guys. This is what Jamal Bowman saw. Only it's bizarre because those two signs that were on the door somehow were removed and were in his hand when the infamous picture was taken of him standing there at the fire alarm, pulling it. He pushed in and then he pulled down and he set off a fire alarm, and it was just all an accident. It was just Simple mistake. And you can see here clearly the signs in his hands. So he actively made the choice to pull those signs down. I guess I don't know what that was about. I really don't. I mean, in your hurry, in your state of confusion, in your state of absolute panic, you still had the time to pull 2 signs off the door. So I would say vandalism, and then pull a fire alarm, which is very obvious. But let's see what the sign said and what might have led to some of the confusion. Okay, so here it says emergency exit only. So these signs say emergency exit only. Push until alarm sounds. In parentheses, it says 3 seconds. Door will unlock in 30 seconds. So I don't know about y'all, but that would probably lead me to go and find another door to exit out of. That's just me personally. Usually when something says emergency exit and it's not an emergency, you go find another door. It's probably not that hard. There's probably one around, but this is not the course of action that Jamal Bowman took, and we cannot count for his actions because he's obviously a retarded person who has a low IQ. Either that or he just thinks that everyone else in America does, because this is the story he's trying to spin. So this is what we have, guys. Jamal Bowman, damage control, Royals, Capitol Hill as GOP closes in, from Axios. So the turmoil surrounding Representative Jamal Bowman for pulling a House office building alarm raged on Monday as his staff tried to rally fellow Democrats around a defense. So Axios did a little thing here. Why it matters, according to Axios. The Capitol Police is continuing to investigate Bowman, and a Republican colleague introduced a resolution to expel him from Congress. And what is this, Axios? What? Hello? Can y'all just write an article? Anyways, driving the news. Democratic staffers were transfixed and bewildered by a messaging memo that Bowman's office sent out on Monday afternoon before restricting access to it 7 minutes later. The memo, a copy of which was obtained by Axios, included a list of 9 suggested talking points, including I believe Congressman Bowman when he says this was an accident. Republicans need to instead focus their energy on the Nazi members of their party before anything else. Oh, that's great. Soon after sending the memo in a Google Doc, access was restricted as it was leaked to reporters, with Bowman's office urging staffers who want messaging to reach out directly, according to emails viewed by Axios. So let's see this little... do y'all really have the document? That's great. This is the memo. Oh, great. Messaging guidance. Okay, for supporting Congressman Jamal Bowman. Yeah, okay. It's because that's how stupid they think everyone is. They think they can just tell you what to say. This is like very comical to me. It is an extreme reach on the part of MAGA Republicans. I love that they're trying to make MAGA Republicans a thing. Okay. To assert that Representative Bowman intended to harm or destruct anyone or anything. The exact opposite is true. He was trying to do his job, guys. I mean, hello. We all have jobs. And another one. They even have like very casual, hey, come take a seat. Let me talk to you kind of phrasing in here. This next bullet point says, look, if you've been in the Capitol complex on a weekend, you know there's only 1 or 2 ways to get in and out, and it causes confusion for staffers and members alike. But because of last-minute votes caused by Republican incompetence and surprise bill drop, not all exits were staffed like usual, and the signage made it even more confusing. I mean, we saw the sign, guys. Who else was confused here? I mean, it's a brain buster. I might have to, I don't even know. I might have to take a nap after this. So another point here that Jamal Bowman's people put out. Okay, you're just continuing on with the last bullet point. It says, especially when you're in a rush after Republicans drop the bill text 15 minutes before the vote, and the signage on the doors is unnecessarily confusing. Oh, kind of like how y'all do? Yeah, okay, all right. It's clear my colleague, Congressman Bowman, was simply rushing to the floor to cast his vote to prevent a shutdown and support working-class families. So those are some great talking points. If you want to quote tweet, here's some other references that you can use if you're a Democrat congressman who needs help on what to say about this little incident that Jamal Bowman brought upon himself. Okay, so Bowman, after catching this little memo that his staff put out, well, he came out and cleared it up, right? And he said, I just became aware that our messaging guidance, there was an inappropriate use of the term Nazi without my consent. Oh, really? You see, he says, I condemn the use of the term Nazi out of its precise definition. It is important to specify the term Nazi to refer to members of the Nazi Party and neo-Nazis. Really? So, Jamal Bowman, can I have a word, please? Can I please have a word? Because, I'm sorry, is this you? Is this you right here? From Independent Journal, or is it Independent Journal Review? Yeah. Squad member claims conservative commentator is a Nazi. Nazi, you say? Hell-bent on keeping only white men alive. So, Michael Knowles is who he's talking about from the Daily Wire. Okay. Pretty mild guy, Michael Knowles. He has some conservative views. He's pretty right-wing. Did you say Nazi? This is in a tweet. Representative Jamal Bowman shared a portion of a speech at the Conservative Political Action Conference by Daily Wire's Michael Knowles. And this is what he wrote. Michael Knowles is a Nazi, hell-bent on keeping only white men alive and in power. We cannot allow him and others to push their evil agenda, and we must stand up for the transgender rights. And he added, CPAC has made one thing clear this year. They support a future run by Nazis. So what? I mean, you're throwing the N-word around, sir. You're throwing an N-word around. I mean, hello. You, and, I seem to be in the understanding that N-words are bad. Okay? Didn't you just say, is this not you over here, sir? Is this not you right here? I condemn the use of the term Nazi out of its precise definition. Huh. Why the change of heart? What's going on, sir? You seem a little all over the place. This was only earlier this year, March 7th. What a turnaround you've done. My, how the turntables do turn. So let's see some of the reactions online from just some of the, other fellow fucktard liberals and what they had to say in regards to Jamal Bowman. They were all running cover. They were doing the thing.
And I don't want to call it a stunt yet. There's going to be an investigation. I know Jamal. And
you know
so
him?
Again, I'm a little biased, but the doors that are normally open so that he could get to the chambers to read were somehow miraculously closed.
Oh my God, it's a miracle.
How did that happen? And so yes, sometimes you're freaking out and you're in an elevator and you're pressing all the buttons.
Hell, guys, you know how sometimes you're in an elevator, right? And you fucking have like a random like spastic, seizure where you're just pressing all the buttons. Show us again, Sonny, because I didn't get it the first time. What do you do when you're in an elevator? Sometimes, I mean, who hasn't been here, guys? Who hasn't been in this situation right here?
And you're in an elevator and you're pressing all the buttons.
Oh, really?
It goes.
So, and it was like miraculously the door was closed, because doors typically they don't open and shut, right? Sometimes they're just like not even really doors. They're just hallways or like entryways. But I have rarely seen a door being shut. So it is somewhat of a miracle. I don't know how it happened. Jesus Christ must have come down himself and shut that door. But I'm sure somewhere he opened a window. So I don't really know what to say about that. As far as the spastic, and random attack of the crazy arms in the elevator, it happens to me all the time. What can I say?
To them not having the time. It is quite possible that he was trying to get there and the door, not panic, but if you're not looking,
what?
Because it's a door that's normally open, you just go and you press a button. It
fire alarm button. Like, I'm so scared of that.
I don't know. Because
it's not a button, you fucking. I mean, it is beyond. If Donald Trump had pulled a fire alarm, they would be calling for the death penalty of this man. Like, the utter hypocrisy, and it's like not even hypocrisy at this point. It is just ridiculous. They should all be ashamed of themselves. They should really like just remove themselves from polite society, especially Whoopi Goldberg with these damn sandals, these Birkenstocks with the damn socks on. Go to hell, Whoopi. I mean, what are you talking about? The fire alarm, you push in and then you pull down. And it's not just like an easy thing. It's not just like, oh, whoopsies, I pushed a button. Oh, whoops. Sorry, typo, pushed a button. No, it's a literal thing where you got to push it in, you pull it down, you got to use a little bit of force. It's not just like a willy-nilly, oh my gosh, I just accidentally bumped into it. No. Give me a freaking break. And of course, this absolute disgusting woman right here, who's supposed to be the conservative Republican or whatever on the panel, she's not going to say shit. She's going to sit up here and laugh like it's a damn joke. When, if it was anybody from the other side, I mean, it would be the end of the world. It would be the absolute end of the world. And this is what I'm sick of. Because in all actuality, I mean, whatever. He pulled a fire alarm. People are saying, like, he should be expelled from Congress. The only reason why I'm, like, down with that is because of these sorts of reaction. It's like if these people weren't so damn biased and weren't so damn blatant about it in our faces, it would just be a nothing. Like, it wouldn't, but it's like, you do this type of shit and run cover for this man instead of just saying he's an idiot. He obviously pulled it on purpose. It's not just like an accidental occurrence, okay? He didn't just like let a fart slip out in the middle. It's just like, it's ridiculous. So then in turn, the reaction to their reaction is going to be even more ridiculous. And this is how we've gotten to this place that we're at now. And I I just hate everyone.
Because I don't know what I haven't seen the fire alarm button, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like fire exit only sign. It was like active.
Because you have to break glass to get to the button.
No, you don't, idiot.
I don't know.
I don't know. It seems pretty fire alarmy to me.
I don't know. It just looks like a button. I can't see the button.
I thought he was a little closer.
A button. That looks like a button, guys. It's a button. It's a button, and we all know how silly we all become around buttons, okay? Buttons are a silly thing. I mean, silly and kooky things happen, okay? Deal with it. Okay.
There was an interesting moment over the weekend when your New York colleague, Congressman Jamal Bowman, he's under investigation for this now after Capitol Police say he pulled a fire alarm in one of the House office buildings. Democrats were trying to delay a final vote on the bill. There he is.
You're a joke,
pulling
CNN.
the fire alarm. He says it was an accident. He thought pulling the alarm would open the door based on the fact that the doors to his right there were locked, and there was a sign that he said he was. I think someone said it was confusing. I'll be honest. It doesn't really make sense to me. His explanation. Have you talked to him? What's going on there?
I mean, listen, I think if you actually do see some of the photos of the signs, I think there's something to be said about the government's about to shut down. There's a vote clock that's going down. The exits that are normally open in that building were suddenly closed.
So you pulled a fire alarm?
So what I'm here to say is that.
So you're telling me a black man was late to a vote, so he had to rush a black man late? I'm shocked. That is racist, and I don't believe it.
House administration and U.S. Capitol Police and Jamal Bowman are an active, and he's fully participating in saying there was a misunderstanding. But what I do think is important to raise is the fact that Republicans, representatives like Nicole Malliotakis and others, immediately moved to file motions to censure, motions to expel, before there has even been conversations that are finished to even see if there was a misunderstanding.
Oh well.
But what they did do, while they did that, what they did not do was...
Didn't you call for Paul Gosar to be censured for a meme that wasn't even created by him, that he reposted, that showed you in an anime form fighting him and you know, getting your head chopped off by an imaginary sword? Didn't you do that? Okay. Okay. All right.
To commit to the same when George Santos was actually found guilty after a thorough investigation of 13 federal charges.
Oh, God.
He's indicted on everything from wire fraud to actual lying of House investigators. And they have been buddying up and
lying
with him on the House floor, and they are protecting someone who has lied to the American people, lied to the United States House of Representatives, lied to congressional investigators, but they're filing a motion to expel a member who, in a moment of panic, was trying to escape a vestibule. Give me a break. The idea that there is some...
Give us a break, ma'am. We're not all stupid. In a moment of panic, was trying to escape a vestibule. I mean, what a word salad, fuck you moment from AOC. I mean, my goodness. He didn't look very panicked. He had enough time to remove the 2 signs that were on the door so that they weren't visible if there were to be, any sort of security camera footage, which there was. I mean, it really is just like it's disrespect. It's a slap in the face continuously from these people. They're all a joke, and they treat you and me and everyone else in this country as jokes too. And it's deplorable. It really is. It's loathsome.
How any kind of equivalence to someone who is actively trying to clear up a situation that he himself admits he's embarrassed. He released a statement last night. He apologized. And they are protecting someone who has not only committed wire fraud, not only defrauded veterans, not only lied to congressional investigators, but is openly gloating about it, is absolutely humiliating to the Republican caucus. And I think that they should really check their own values.
I think you need to check your value, ma'am, and your president, Joe Biden, who is an absolute corrupt criminal, okay, that you guys are protecting. And I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure that the office of the president that was, I put that in major air quotes. I'm not even really sure that he belongs there, which I'm actually certain he doesn't. You guys are protecting him every chance y'all get, instead of wanting to know the truth and wanting to get to the bottom of his corruption. So don't give me that shit, you little bitch. And she pissed me off very much with this statement, because it's just such a joke. It's just the same as The View. They treat you like you're a child. They treat you like you're stupid. They treat you like you can't see what's going on with your own eyes. And if you're confused by that sign, then you shouldn't even be in Congress. Like, because you're too low IQ. You're too dumb. And if you get into such a panic, you're so late for a vote that you are in such a panic that you pull a fire alarm, then maybe you just shouldn't be voting. You're obviously not organized. You're not being responsible with your schedule. You're not being organized and, making sure you're getting to where you need to go in a timely manner. So you're just disqualified from any body of government. And to say otherwise is retarded, okay? Just please miss me with the corruption talk, because if you want to find and you want to look at corruption, if you want to talk down to people and grandstand and act like people are lacking morals and ethics, look no further than Joe Biden, okay, ma'am, in your own party. And speaking of lacking morals and ethics and any common sense and low IQ, Karen Jean-Pierre.
Oh yeah, the bitch.
Would President Biden ever try to get out of a meeting by pulling a fire alarm?
Are you talking about something specific?
A Democratic member of Congress pulled a fire alarm around a series of votes.
This is a joke. This is a joke.
Is that appropriate?
What I can tell you is I've not spoken to the president.
What are you laughing at, bitch?
And so just not going to comment. I would leave it up to. I know there's a House process moving forward right now. I'll leave it to the House.
Yeah. What's so funny, Karen? What's so funny? Curly head, curly Q.
You little pumpkin pie haircutted freak.
I don't find it very funny, ma'am. But okay, y'all keep laughing at all of us. It's just a big old fat joke, isn't it? Well, just wait. Just it's all gonna come to a head eventually. You just keep laughing there, ma'am. And another thing that came to a head just today, we no longer have a Speaker of the House, and I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest. So my first thought, and I've been saying this, was that, like, I've been wanting them to oust McCarthy, because he's been doing a terrible job. He's not been living up to his promises, and he's bought and paid for. He's not a real, true America First congressman. He's a go along, get along guy. But, like, when the vote did actually turn out in the favor of Matt Gaetz and his attempt to oust Kevin McCarthy, I did have mixed feelings about it, because it's like, on one hand, I agree with him completely, and I really do like Matt Gaetz a lot. On the other hand, it's like, now, the idiots in this country, and there's far more idiots with absolute room temperature IQs who don't follow politics, who only ingest what the media tells them and then regurgitate that into the voting booths. And these people vote, are only going to see this at face value. And so it might turn people off. It might, make Republicans look bad to those people, which in the end, I don't really care about ultimately, because I think the whole system's broken. Both parties suck. The whole form of government needs to be like redone and situated in accordance with our Constitution. But what do you guys think?
The question is on adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The noes have it. The resolution is, gentleman from Florida.
I'd request the yeas and nays.
The yeas and nays are requested. On this vote, the yeas are 216. The nays are 210. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
What a shit show. So, it is what it is. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about it. I kind of am enjoying the shit showy nature of this latest shenanigans that are happening in the House. I really enjoyed the clown show that was electing Kevin McCarthy, that was also, spearheaded by Matt Gaetz back whenever they first elected him. That was really something. But I don't know. I'm leaning more towards yes, I'm happy, because I do think that at some point the system is going to have to just burn down. It really will. And this is, the kindlings, the beginning of that little fire. Hopefully, where people will start to actually get it, that they don't go there to get rich. Okay, they're supposed to be going to Congress to represent the people. And it's really not that hard of a concept. So I want to show you guys what Matt Gaetz had to say in regards to this ouster. He always gives a good speech on the House floor. I really do like Matt Gaetz. I think that he is one of the better ones that we have. And I do believe that he's there for the people. I do think that he is a good member of Congress, and that's why he's been targeted. And he's outspoken, and I think if he keeps on this track, he will be president one day. I would vote for him. As of right now, things could obviously change. I thought one day I would be voting for Rob, DeSantis, but probably will never happen now because he's just a, dumb. But let's see what Matt Gaetz had to say.
Mr. Speaker, my friend from Oklahoma says that my colleagues and I who don't support Kevin McCarthy would plunge the House and the country into chaos. Chaos is Speaker McCarthy. Chaos is somebody who we cannot trust with their word. The one thing that the White House, House Democrats, and many of us on the conservative side of the Republican caucus would argue is that the thing we have in common, Kevin McCarthy said something to all of us at one point or another that he didn't really mean and never intended to live up to. I don't think voting against Kevin McCarthy is chaos. I think $33 trillion in debt is chaos. I think that facing a $2.2 trillion annual deficit is chaos. I think that not passing single subject spending bills is chaos. I think the fact that we have been governed in this country since the mid-90s by continuing resolution and omnibus is chaos. And the way to liberate ourselves from that is a series of reforms to this body that I would hope would outlast Speaker McCarthy's time here, would outlast my time here, and would outlast either of our majorities. Reforms that I have heard some of the most conservative members of this body fight for, and some of the reforms that we've been battling for that I've even heard those in the Democrat caucus say would be worthy and helpful to the House, like open amendments, like understanding what the budget is. We have been out of compliance with budget laws for most of my life, most of many of your lives. And by the way, if we did those things, if we had single subject bills, if we had an understanding on the top line, if we had open amendments, if we had trust and honesty and understanding, there would be times when my conservative colleagues and I would lose, might be a few times when we'd win. There'd be times that we would form partnerships that might otherwise not be really predictable in the American body politic, but the American people would see us legislating. These last few days, we've suspended the momentum that we had established the week earlier, where we were bringing bills to the floor, voting on them, staying late at night, working hard. That's what the American people expect. It's something Speaker McCarthy hasn't delivered, and that's why I've moved to vacate the chair. I reserve.
Amen. I mean, he does give a great speech. He really has a way with the words. So, God bless Matt Gaetz. I agree with everything he just said. You know, that's why I said, like, you know, I'm definitely more on his side about it. It's just kind of like, I don't know. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I guess I have to have faith. We all have to have faith, but it is scary. It is scary to watch everything go to shit, you know, but it already is in the shitter, kind of, so hey.
My colleague says we passed the strongest border bills in history. Well, guess what? Look at the border right now.
Amen.
We didn't use sufficient leverage in the debt limit or in any other thing to actually get results on the border. The border is a disaster.
Yep.
Really something I don't think you're going to be campaigning on, that you fixed the border.
Thank you.
Second, you said you streamlined regulations. What the gentleman from Louisiana doesn't tell you is that all of the regulatory reform he was just bragging about is waivable by the stroke of a pen of someone in the Biden White House. Do you really think you've got anything for that? It's a total joke. And then finally, the welfare to work that the gentleman from Louisiana said we got.
Who? What gentleman?
Programs that they said that they streamlined with their welfare to work stuff, they're actually going to grow. Because while they did work requirements, they blew out those programs with expanded eligibility. I'm real glad you guys didn't put work requirements on Medicaid. It probably would have resulted in Medicaid expansion. And when it comes to how those raise money, I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have boo all you want, who have hollowed out this town,
Oh my.
who have borrowed against the future.
She's liking it.
of
Look
our
at her
future
over here.
generations.
She likes
I'll
it.
be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time, and you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you. I
Oh my
reserve.
God. I like how he's over here lecturing the fucking Republican side. Okay. He's kind of hot in this moment. Not in this moment right here. That's a weird pause.
Future.
He looks like a turtle. He's got the turtle head going. But God bless you, Matt Gaetz. I mean, I love the fire. I do. And then you know who else really enjoyed it herself? You know, Ilhan Omar was either on a Molly or she was just really hot in the pants for Matt Gaetz. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. I mean, ma'am? Are you okay? Oh, shit, girl. Why are you looking at... Like, do you want to devour him or what, Miss Mamas? Okay, girl. Hotep Jesus said, get you someone who looks at you like Ilhan Omar looks at Matt Gaetz. And he went on Laura Ingram's show after all of this happened, and let's hear just a little bit of what he had to say to her. I haven't watched this yet.
I want to get right to the criticism, chief criticism by some of your GOP colleagues that we've been covering, that and the angle made the point that it took your aligning with Democrats and even pals of Liz Cheney and the Republican Party like Ken Buck to produce a result that as of now has no solution. So what's your response to that?
Well, the solution's quite easy. We should get to electing a new, more conservative, more trustworthy speaker immediately. And I'm calling on Patrick McHenry, who currently is the Speaker pro tem, to reconsider the decision that he just made to send everyone in Congress home for a week. This is not the time to go home for a week. We should stay and elect a new speaker. That's the path ahead. As far as the criticism that I worked with Democrats, the yellow brick road of working with Democrats was paved by Kevin McCarthy. Whether it was the debt limit deal, whether it was the continuing resolutions, this is a guy who was willing to partner with conservatives on the frivolous, but whenever there was a spending matter, he partnered with Democrats.
But he does have a point in the speech that he made, is that, like, and I'm not trying to say that, like, we should all just kumbaya and get along, or, like, things need to go back to the way they used to be, and, like, politics as normal, but there should be people in both parties who would rather put the interests of the people that they serve and work with somebody like a progressive from the Democrat caucus or like even a moderate Democrat, whoever agrees, there should be some agreement between members from both parties in Congress. Otherwise, all you're doing is playing partisan games, and you're only there for yourself and your own interests and the interests of the people who make you richer. Okay? That's all it does. All this partisanship, all this, like, especially the Democrats, they're the worst at it. I mean, they stick together like glue. They don't deviate whatsoever. At least we have people in the Republican side that deviate and will actually push the envelope, like Matt Gaetz, and people who don't just, you know, like do whatever the Republican leadership and, you know, conservative lobbyists ask of them to do. So yes, I'd rather have that, but at the same time, there should be some like working together from them, the people who we elect. I mean, I'm not talking about the people who like want to see all conservatives dead, or the idiots in Congress who just spout off complete and utter nonsense, but I'm sure there are some very rational people who consider themselves to be on the left that, you know, need to start speaking up and speaking out and doing these sorts of things that some of these conservatives are now doing, because it's getting ridiculous.
That said, Speaker McCarthy's time is over. I wish him well. I have no personal animus to him. I hope he finds fruitful pastures, and I'm certain he will. But we've got a job to do here. This is about the job. This is about keeping our commitment to have single-subject spending bills and an actual budget for the first time.
Congressman, we've already established tonight that I have been doing this, with all due respect, decades longer than you. Okay, you're a young guy.
Yeah, you're
and
old.
so I agree with all.
I don't believe that, Laura. Did you start when you were like 3? You were too young to have
Continuing
done
resolutions, the budget, the spending, it's a total nightmare.
It is.
But the fact of the matter is, y'all don't have the votes. You don't have the margin to get from A to B to C. And so how does this get you closer?
I categorically reject that we don't have the votes for a budget.
Hold on a second, Matt. How do you get closer to all these things that are legitimate concerns when you still have a Senate that says no can do? I mean, you got several senators who are actually completely on the other side on a lot of these issues.
Right.
You still have that to contend with. So how do you get to your nirvana points, which are the conservative holy grail points of governance, the way we're going?
The Senate does not control how the House approaches its spending business.
All right, hold on. Congressman, I know you've been listening in to former Speaker McCarthy's comments. He name-checked you and said, number one, you're not a real conservative because you don't want to govern conservatively. He also said that this really was personal, intimating that you're really PO'd, that he didn't step in and put down that ethics investigation into you. And he knows it's personal, and you know it's personal. And you say?
That's totally false.
Okay, well, I'm done with this. I agree. Listen, I'm going with Matt Gaetz. I don't listen. It's a shit show. Our whole government is a shit show. It's been a shit show, and it's going to continue to be like this. At the end of the day, close up the freaking border. First of all, that's first. Can we just do that? Can we just get the military on the border, for God's sakes? And I don't even care about the rest. I really don't. Like, we need to, like, beat these people over the head. Like, I don't even know what needs to happen, but please, for the love of God, worry about our national security by closing the border, repair the roads, fund the schools if you must. Listen, I think the Department of Education needs to be kaput, but I digress. Do the things that government's supposed to do, and everything else can go to hell, and you can stay the hell out of it. But, something needed to happen. It needs to be shaken up. It's not been working for a very long time. What else are we going to do? Just sit here and let things spiral until we're all, sucked into a tunnel of doom, and we're just, it's too late? I'd rather see things shaken up. So what do you guys think, though? Please let me know in the comments. Like the video if you liked it, and let me know, guys. Until next time, I will see y'all later. Bye.
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.